Welcome to Video Marketing Secrets, Simple Strategies for Outrageous ROI, a podcast by The Draw Shop. Here you will learn the most creative and cutting-edge video marketing strategies to help you attract, nurture, and convert your ideal customers throughout your entire sales funnel. I'm your host, Summer Felix-Mulder. Please join me for this newest episode. Hello, listeners. Welcome to another Video Marketing Secrets episode. Today, my guest is Gary Cassady, and he is a lead generation expert, and he proves this in his different businesses, one of them which is BizCommanders. He is the co-founder of BizCommanders, which provides support for coaches, consultants, and advisors. He's also the president of Mid-Ohio Real Estate Investors Association, where they're like flipping houses, doing all kinds of cool stuff. And he's also the owner of the National Benefits Group, and that business specializes in providing customized health and life insurance policies from the country's leading insurance providers. He is an expert on doing live video, and that's what we're talking about today. Yes, I know it gets uncomfortable. You don't want to be on camera. Maybe you do. Maybe you love it. Maybe you're not doing it enough. But we're going to cover all of that and how to show up on camera, when to show up, what you should be talking about, when to talk about your business, when to show the personal side. We're going through all of that. We're even going to talk about what to do if you want to do actual showing up live to interact with your audience, but then you can't actually be there live. How do you still go live? We're going to talk about that. Really cool trick right there. And also talking about kind of cameras and things to use, what you can get out of your own cell phone, and also the value of having a setup in your office or somewhere at your house where you can just show up. So we'll talk about some of the cameras and equipment that you can use that is not going to break the bank, but makes it easy for you to show up. We'll talk about some editing software that's also super simple. And we're just gonna have a great time. I also just want to tell you to check out the books that he has on Amazon, because he's an Amazon best-selling author and he's got a lot of books out there. Just from talking about Facebook ads, things that you need to know, social media marketing, lead gen, more on video marketing, online directory secrets. And one that totally intrigues me that I'm going to be checking out is the 45-minute business breakthrough. And this is where he finds 10K plus up to, he's found hundreds of thousands of dollars just within 45 minutes for any business. So lots of great stuff here. And you will learn where to follow him, but let's dive into the conversation, because I myself learned so much and actually got the motivation and the drive to start showing up live on videos a lot more without overwhelming myself. Enjoy the episode. Gary, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. We're going to talk about some cool stuff. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Summer. Appreciate you having me on. So excited to be here.
Yes, I'm really excited. We had a few chuckles about our time differences, but that's okay. We're so good. Eager today that we each showed up like 3 times for the interview. No.
Yeah, I've been waiting since 11 a.m.
I know, right? So, we're going to talk about some good video marketing stuff, and we're going to talk a different angle than I usually talk about, which is going to be great.
Awesome.
But before we do that, can you give me kind of a background about, how you got to do what it is that you do today, and what drives you?
Yeah, well, oh man, what drives me? Everything drives me. It's but when it comes to the video marketing, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've actually never worked for somebody my entire adult life. I had a few jobs maybe here and there in high school. And so I got in, I spent 17 plus years in the insurance world. And one of the things that made it a little bit unique, as I was growing an insurance agency. I had an agency, had 60, 70 agents for me at one time. And one of the things that I was very good at was generating leads. and
Yeah.
getting people to call me and so forth. And so I started doing like video marketing, and then it really turned into like a live video marketing. And I was kind of, when I first started off doing video marketing, I was really almost against like say Facebook but I started seeing the power of it. And what I was literally doing as I was had agents I was training, getting doing like generating leads, right? And so then we would go and do like a video commercial, and then we'd see like, okay, well, like a lot of these markets I couldn't really even track who was even watching my videos or my commercial. And so then we started noticing a trend of all these different platforms, social media platforms, were going to live video. And that's really where it really started. I was like, man, all right, we're doing this. I'm really doing it from my cell phone at the very beginning. And I'm getting every one of my agents. I got 60 some agents doing live videos on a day-to-day basis. And just the power of that. And we're tagging each other and putting hashtags in. And it really exploded the insurance world. And we started it. Now I use it when I train people. I use the same techniques back then on, with the cell phone in most cases. Now, still do the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay. So as we're talking about this, like there's people that are like, well, how do I even know if like live video is right for my business?
Yeah.
What kind of businesses do you think it works really well for?
I have not found a business that live video does not work for, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Every business that I've ever been in, I've been with farmers, they're out plowing fields, and live video is exploding their business and whatever they do. Breweries that we're dealing with. I deal with a lot of, insurance agents and a lot of real estate investors as well. And when, it starts with that, it's those businesses, they start exploding. I got vacuum cleaner sales guys utilizing live video, copier salespeople. These are some guys. Some of them have shops. Sometimes they work out of their home.
Yeah.
But like the way I see live video, and this might sound a little weird, Summer, is it's almost like a reality TV show to me.
Yeah.
And
totally.
so, if you look at like some of the big reality TV shows, let's just pick real estate, for example. They go in and they're showing the good and the really bad stuff. And then there's all sudden there's brand new kitchen, right? They don't show it in between, but they'll show like the demo, or they'll go into a house and it's all full of mold. And then next thing you know, you got this $1 million kitchen and everybody loves that. And so that's some of the stuff that we try to utilize when we're doing live video, especially in the real estate world, is we're becoming a celebrity online, whether on whatever platform we're doing. And that's one of the reasons I love live video that route.
So I have, my audience knows that I like to do this. I like to use myself as the guinea pig. Like, let's use me as an example. So I know that a lot of people will come to us because they're uncomfortable being on camera.
Yes.
And myself, even, I'm just like, okay, I know I should be doing this. My social media team will say, will you just get on there more? Will you start doing this? And when I do, they're like, see, this is why you need to do this. And I'm like, I know, but I always have an excuse of why I can't. My hair's not done. Oh, but I'm this, but it's those times when I am just like, I don't have makeup on, I don't have this, but I'm talking to you because I feel compelled to share something with you.
Absolutely. I mean, your story is powerful. I have a lot of, like students that I'll teach like on this live video stuff. Right. And I get, occasionally I get this one person that's, she's either really shy, doesn't want to be on camera, maybe it's this guy. And so I actually get them starting to do live video without them being in the video.
Yeah.
And so they'll turn the camera backwards and they'll just like say walking through a house, doing a video of a walk through a house with their cell phone up there, and they're talking to the camera, but they're not on camera. And so they're just talking about things. And so then all of a sudden they start seeing how that works powerful for them. And then next thing you know, the next video they send me, they're on there. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So
show a little bit.
How often, like for me, I already know I'm not doing it often enough. I interviewed Amy Porterfield just probably a couple of weeks ago. And, she's like, I hated doing video. And She's like, I'm on there every single day now. She's showing up on TikTok. She's
Yes.
showing up on Instagram. She's showing up on Facebook. You know, she's doing all of that. And
Yes.
it's just this, she's comfortable, whether she's comfortable or not, you know, comfortable being uncomfortable, but she's doing it every day. And she, you know, talked about how it dramatically increased the engagement, and people care so much, even if it's not related to her business. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's just personal life showing up. Like, here I am doing this. You're a real person, and people love that.
Yeah.
But how often should, you know, like, let's say myself, I'm going to come up with a plan. I'm going to start getting on camera more. How often should I do that? Or should our listeners do that for their brand?
Yeah. So, you know, it kind of varies, in my opinion. And so it depends on your audience a lot of times. Now, I do a minimum of 3 a week,
Okay.
3 times. And there are times that I will actually go every single day talking to my audience. And there are times that I'm promoting, like you were talking earlier, that I'm promoting other things besides my business.
Yeah.
And so I have kind of like a rule of thumb. I try to go a minimum of 3 times a week with my business, where I'm promoting something business related, even though I may not be like, hey, buy this, right? I'm talking about, you know, real estate, or I'm talking about insurance, I'm talking about lead generation. And then, you know, the other 2 or 3 times I'll go live throughout the week is maybe I'm just having a thought in my head. I'm driving down the road. I've got an hour drive. I'll go live in my vehicle, and I'm literally just talking to the camera about a principle that I just thought of, or a tip that somebody just give me. And then there are times my son plays travel hockey, and he's very competitive in it. And so, like, there's times we're all over the country, and I'll go live in a ice rink, just, you know, talking like, hey, I'm here today, you know, watching my son play, you know, travel hockey. You know, and he's usually out there, like, he's the goalie, so he's like dancing around. And so people want to they want to relate to you. They don't want to know just like all about your business. They, you know, they want to know what you're doing as a family, what kind of dog you have.
Totally.
You know, and so, you know, there's times I'll just go live for, you know, 2 minutes of filming my dog running around the yard.
Yeah.
And that gets more, you know, that gets a lot of engagement, just because people are starting to follow me. You know, they want to connect with you. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if you think about, we just think about ourselves and how we've engaged with other people and what we care about. It's the more of that you have, the more that people are going to pay attention to you, because you are that real person. You're not just this ad, you know, running through.
And people, they don't want to know, it's not all business. And each platform that you kind of go on, now, like, say LinkedIn, if you go live on LinkedIn, it's more business related. They don't necessarily want to know about what you're eating for dinner, or your pets. Now, Facebook, TikTok, you know, Instagram, you know, those are okay to kind of, essentially, they want to know about you, the person, as well. And you want to highlight some of that stuff, what you do on activities outside of work. And they really connect with you when you do things like that. So,
what are some strategies that have worked and haven't worked in terms of putting out that content? How often, you know, you're just showing your real life, how often you actually do plug your business for that? Because ultimately, right, the goal is lead gen. But like, what has worked, what hasn't worked?
When I first started off in the social media world, and doing video, if I promoted my business 100% of the time, all the time, where I, you know, if I was going every day doing business 2 or 3 times a day, it did not work for me. I turned my audience was turned off. They weren't engaging. And it wasn't until I really started focusing on you know, like my personal life a little bit. And I don't go out there and tell like my drama part of my life.
Right.
But I do, you know, I do some highlights, right? And whether it's I'm out looking for a new car, whether I'm, you know, at a really nice restaurant, you know, meeting up with some buddies, stuff like that, I will kind of highlight those. And that's what's really started to explode my presence. In fact, I was actually in a small town the other day that I'm not even from, but I was outside meeting a gentleman for coffee, and I showed up. I'm usually always early. I'm like 5-10 minutes early all the time. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I was
Yeah,
sitting
like
outside,
today.
and yeah, people were walking up down the road, and so I noticed out of the corner of my eye, this guy stops, and I'm like, and I'm like, I'm still trying to just focus. I think I was looking on my phone, replying to some emails, and so I just kept noticing this guy. He was kind of like, hesitant. So I looked over, and all of a sudden he goes, "You're that guy." And I'm like, "Uh-oh." No, what did I do? And he goes, "You're the guy that flips homes. You're the guy that's on those videos all the time." And here, I'm an hour and a half away from my home,
Yeah.
in this small little, town, helping some folks out. And here's this guy recognizes me from social media. And that's when I started, I'm like, it's working. I'm becoming that celebrity, where
Yeah.
people know you walking down the road. I mean, he did pretty much everything except for ask for my autograph, right?
Yeah.
He's like, let's
Wow.
connect. He's like, wanted to buy me dinner that night. And so it really really works. So.
Are you also are you also showing up, like doing actual lives where people are interacting with you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so I'll do live interviews, very similar to like a podcast.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'm running into a business owner that's got something really unique to talk about, or they're adopting a puppies or whatever, whatever the particular case is. And I'll just go live right then and there, and it's I'm promoting their business for them for free, really.
Yeah.
But it's also something that's intriguing to me. One interview I did was a young man. He's a motivational speaker. He wrote his own book. He's like an Amazon bestseller book. I think maybe even somewhere ranked on the New York Times. But he was like 11 years old, and I'm like, man, the world's got to know about this guy. Like,
What?
this
Oh
is
my
absolutely
gosh.
amazing. And so, like, I want to tell those stories. The people that I meet. Maybe I meet somebody on an airplane. I'll go live with them, and I ask them, hey, you mind going live real quick? Let's, I heard your story. Let's tell a little bit. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And people really seem to resonate with that when it's a genuine story.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Cancer survivor, that's 20 years in the making. We'll go live and talk about that a little bit, and it increases the following, it increases your audience, and people. I get messages all the time. When's your next episode? When you going live again? All the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have, speaking of that, do you have like a content calendar of things that you're going to be speaking about, and then some things where just like it's going to be on the fly? How do you manage that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a couple calendars. Right now, most of it's like Calendarly, and it's all linked into like my Outlook, and I keep track of all of my content. And like if I have consistent stuff that I do. Like say every Monday, I've got people that I talk to,
Yeah.
and every Wednesday I do this. But then I have different content that is not business related. That it's just kind of sporadic. I
Yeah.
don't have that written down, but all of my business content is pretty much pre-planned 99% of the time. There are some that is not, where it's, I'm in the middle of showing somebody a house that's wanting to buy a house or something. And so then, all right, I'm going to go live with this scenario because I think it's a great opportunity to get a connection with these individuals.
Yeah, totally. What's your advice for those listening that are like, okay, you know what? I'm going to start doing this. How should I start? Like, how do I even start? How do I make the plan to also make sure that I keep doing it?
Yeah. So, starting off, it is very hard to start off. And so, getting yourself committed, just really start off with your cell phone.
Yes.
And just start making live videos. Every platform now, pretty much you can go live on. Start off with there. Just start talking general stuff about your business, and then start, get a calendar like you're talking about, and schedule out every Monday at 9:00. I'm going to go live, talk about my business. If I've got a road trip or if I'm traveling someplace, if I'm driving, let's do live in the vehicle. And this is what we're going to talk about. So start, have like your plan of different topics that you're going to talk about on your business. If you're, I talk about a lot about motivation. And I have some principles called act like a champion. And A is for attitude, C is conditioning, and T is techniques. And so I talk a lot about that, like, proper, attitude, and conditioning. And conditioning in my world is not like running up down steps, right? I'm not conditioning to run a triathlon or, NFL, Super Bowl Sunday. I'm conditioning my mind, my body, and my spirit to be successful. And that's one of the things that I talk about a lot. What am I doing today to improve my business? What am I doing today to help myself get to the next level? What does that look like?
I love that. Always love stuff like that.
Yep. And I'm one of those guys that I don't like being on video personally. And I don't like to necessarily talk about it, but I've understand the power of how social media with this live videos are becoming. And I don't always, so sometimes I pre-record my videos as well. And then I use software like OBS Studios, and that will then present it and display it live. Because there's times, scheduling conflicts. If you plan on going live every Monday, say at 10 o'clock, and all of a sudden, your kid's sick and you can't go live, or, a family emergency comes up, whatever the case is, you still have a backup plan, and you can still go live on certain, platforms, still going live, keeping your audience going on a pre-recorded video.
Okay, let's talk about that. That's super cool. And even, starting out, if someone feels a little bit like nervous with that first going live, actually going live. So tell me again, it's OBS?
Yeah, OBS Studios.
Studios.
It's actually what they call an open source platform. It's free to use, free to download. And it actually, it's almost like a TV station in a box, pretty much. And you can add graphics, you can add lower thirds, upper thirds, a little logo in the corner, and you can go live, and you can pre-schedule everything to go live now with all this new technology.
And can you do that again with your iPhone if you just film some content on your iPhone, or do you need like a special camera?
No. I mean, so I take video from my cell phone. Now, like I've got multiple cameras that I do use now.
Yeah.
But like I can take a video from my cell phone, and then I can pull it and put it and schedule it in OBS Studios along with, say, Facebook Live, and schedule that to play live down 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, and I can have it scheduled out. I can technically schedule out like a whole month in advance with pre-recorded video. It's still playing live, but it's pre-recorded.
Right. I love it. I love it. Yeah. That's a great answer for a lot of people, especially with travels and things like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's talk about, so we know that we can use our phones, right? They have great cameras these days. It's awesome.
Yes.
It's like, you're pretty much set. It's so funny because sometimes I'll film something, I'll send it to my team. They're like, that camera was great. I'm like, yeah, it's just my phone, or it's just,
Yeah. I mean, the technology now, if everything's got a camera now.
Everything does. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the quality of the cameras, whether, Apple or Android or whatever it is, that's really quality.
Yeah.
And then you have editing software that you can download for free, or you can pay like a small version and edit and add caption. And there's a lot of stuff that you can really do right from your cell phone. You don't need anything else.
And they make it so user-friendly. And that's coming from someone who understands technology, knows what's available, but isn't actually the quickest at it. Yeah. I'm usually sending it to my team to, edit this, do this. Yeah. But there's so many apps. It's true that they make it really easy. But I wanted to ask you, in terms of, for those doing, interviews, things like that, and they do want a little bit more of a setup, kind of that I can just walk right in. I've got the camera set up like you have right now. What are your favorite cameras or tools that people can use to set up the right lighting? And
so this is live video is really taking me to a whole new world. And I've actually been able to invest in companies, production companies like film production, and we film movies now. I don't do a lot of the filming myself, but I have production teams that do that. And so, but one of the things that I found is most important when you have like a studio type setup, One is you have to have great lighting. If you could be in a dark room, natural light, whatever the case is. Go to Amazon and get some lighting.
Yeah.
And there's cheap lighting and there's expensive lighting. You don't have to go with the real expensive stuff. Now, one of the things that I really made a big difference in my studio setting is having everything set up.
Yeah.
Right. So I have a camera set up. I have a microphone set up. I've got lights set up. I've even got this like big, huge screen TV behind, back here. And so I could display on that and I can watch my, and it's like a one-man setup. Right. But there are things that you really need to have, like when you want to use an external camera or like a higher quality camera. They're called capture display units, where like it'll pull from your camera and display it into your computer,
right,
versus using like your webcam. And so webcams on your computers are probably the weakest camera that I'm still finding out. And even with the days of like Zoom, now that everybody's on camera now, with the COVID stuff, it still to me is not very good quality. And so anytime I'm like on a Zoom meeting, I have like this whole studio set up. I got this $1,000 camera. Now I've seen some pretty nice cameras that are HD cameras for $100 or $200 that work just as well, as long as it's like it has an output where you can go into a capture device and then put it into your right into your laptop or your computer.
Okay.
And the next thing I find is very important is a microphone, and so you got to have quality audio, and that's one thing that I found. Even when I'm traveling now, I usually carry like a lapel that will plug into my cell phone. And so if I'm talking in my vehicle, the sound comes through really, really nice.
Yeah,
and then I have like a sunroof, and I'll make sure the shades open, so it lets in plenty of light, and it highlights very well. So I don't, but yeah, the studios, that really changed. It was a game changer to me, having a set up studio where I could just come in. I don't have to set up or tear down all the time. I can sit down and start doing a recording and going live immediately.
Well, and having it ready, and I've talked about this on another episode. When you have it like that already, and I'm wanting to talk right now because we're just in the process of setting that up in my office here. So I've kind of been like moving around the house, finding different places, but because we're trying to get that great setup where you can just show up. You literally just sit down, you show up, and when you have it ready like that, you're more likely to do it, because a lot of times you just don't do it when you're like, I got to do this, I got to do that. And it just becomes overwhelming. You just don't do it.
To set it up, it may take 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And so people were just like, I don't have that much time.
Yeah.
And so having a set up studio home, and you don't have to have an elaborate studio.
No, you really don't. You really don't. It's like, it's just really, like you said, you want that audio to be good and, fairly good lighting. It would be like a dark room.
Yeah. And, I got multiple lights in here, but just even having an overhead light is fine.
Yeah.
You may just have like a glare on your forehead or something with a light overhead, but it's as long as you're a well-lit room, you're good.
Yeah.
Especially starting out. And then once you start getting an audience and people start paying you to do their broadcast, monetizing it, then you can start investing in, a better equipment, more lighting, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you seeing in terms of, 2023 is coming up? We're finishing out this year. What are you seeing as being like big video marketing trends coming up?
Short videos is what I'm really seeing. A lot of people are doing like the reels and, like the TikTok type of settings. And so those are, the shorter, the better. And so I was actually a funny story with my son, and we were talking to a bunch of people, and it was a group of kids, and like their attention span was a lot shorter now because they're watching these short videos. And so we're actually starting to produce, my production company is starting to produce shorter films, shorter movies. And so I see that becoming a bigger trend now versus the 90-minute movie. They're going to be starting to be shorter because the attention span of the younger generation moving up because of these reels and YouTube shorts, TikTok videos. They want the more shorter, faster, and more content type of scenario.
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I see that a lot now, with, YouTube, you see YouTube shorts, you see all these,
Yes.
everything is so much. And even, you know, videos that used to be that people would have as an hour-long video talking about a topic, that even those are down
Yes.
to 15 minutes now. You can
Oh
get
yeah.
so much information
You
in just
know,
a short amount of time.
and I'm finding the sweet spot is, like a short video would be no more, 2 minutes to 5 minutes. But that's starting to gravitates towards a certain audience. And
Mhm.
then my longer videos that are 15 to 30 minutes is even going a different direction.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to notice a trend on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
People like the snippets of, quick
It is.
takeaways.
It is.
Yeah.
And before it, like the old info commercials, it was a 2 hour long ordeal, selling, exercise bikes or whatever the case is. But now it's, short videos.
Yeah.
And they're building the audience, and it's working just fine.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're watching more of those. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You can create more of those and they're watching more to get more information. It's just they're getting it in little bite size instead of this one long piece.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have, they want to do other things. Like my son, 10, 11 years, 11, he's almost like ADHD. I've got ADHD. So I'm,
Me too.
bouncing around and there are times I literally want quick videos on how to do something.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch the 30-minute tutorial anymore.
Exactly.
I want to get there and get done. And so I'm starting to relate that into my own videos as well.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, where can we watch more of you? Where can we send our listeners to learn more about you and see you in all these awesome live videos?
Yeah. So I do a lot on my social media page, mostly on like their Facebook. If you go Gary Cassady and looked up, I do a weekly event on Ask the Expert.
Okay.
And so I bring in experts from across the country, the world. Got guys coming in from Dubai, Switzerland, all over, and talking about like what they're specialized in. So that's probably one of the best places to go.
Awesome. And then I'm just going to plug real quickly here too. You have quite a bit of books on Amazon that are incredible. And there's, all kinds of good stuff. The one that's like super intriguing, 45-minute business breakthroughs, how I find 10K in any business in 45 minutes. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That's a great book. And we literally can do a business analysis on a business, Summer, and within, like a short amount of time, without changing budget or anything like that, we can teach you how to actually market a little bit better, get more, and find 10,000 is easy. Yeah. There's companies I find, 100,000, 200,000, $500,000 very quickly within a 45-minute, analysis of your business. And it's all about marketing. What are you doing now? And tweak a few things and we can literally generate you that much more income.
And that's a whole podcast interview in itself. We got to have you back.
It is. Yes. Yeah. I could talk all day on this stuff. Yeah.
So cool. I love it. Well, I'm going to make sure that links to all of that, all of those books, everything are in our show notes so that everyone can find exactly what you just talked about. The OBS, all of those takeaways. We'll make sure that they're linked in the show notes. And of course, all access to you, where we can find you and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So much fun. And before we pop off, I have some quick fire questions for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Punchy questions. Ready?
Yeah.
YouTube or Vimeo?
I prefer YouTube.
TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
Who in the world of video marketing is really inspiring you right now?
Oh, Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Ditto.
Yep.
And is there a viral reel or a video or meme or something that's like blowing up your timeline right now?
How you asked that, and I'm supposed to have it. Oh, I can't think of the name at the moment. It's literally, it's a guy doing a magic trick, and he's literally, it's like the Jedi mind trick, and he's like just pushing, and like the guy falls back. And so that's really went pretty viral at the moment. And I can't think of the name of it.
That's
all
okay.
That pressure, that's an ADHD, right?
I know, right? I got the same thing. It's okay. We'll find it. We'll find it.
But that's done really well.
Love it. Well, Gary, thank you so much. This was so much fun. So good. I have my own action like points and takeaways that I'm going to implement now, which I love. Those are my favorite interviews when I'm like, okay, I know what I got to do. So hopefully you'll be seeing me on there live a lot more often than I currently
Absolutely.
am.
I look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
The Video Marketing Secrets podcast is brought to you by The Draw Shop. To learn more about The Draw Shop and how we can help your business grow through the power of video, visit thedrawshop.com/secret. Be sure to search for Video Marketing Secrets on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. On behalf of the team here at The Draw Shop, thank you for listening.